Hello, everyone there. Hello. I think it's better. I don't know for you, the Marwan, Rami in Khartoum. There, it's like if it's better, I open with the video. I think that I'm scared to affect the internet and like the room itself or not, but I'm not sure about this. And letters or like graffiti, but more of like how was this. It is one of the tools in the revolution. Like what we're gonna do with me and Rami now, it is more to introduce you about like the use of the art. It is during like that like how it helped to unite the Sudanese and exactly what is Sudanese. This is a big topic to talk about, like what is the Sudanese. And as you see, I don't know if you can see, all of you, I'm sharing here in the screen, like that like is the map of the new Sudan after like being the separation or the dependence of South Sudan as a country. This is the map of Sudan, and this map is very complicated because this is the design of what is Sudan as like what come from the mapping of Africa of the during the colonialism, and this is what's called Sudan. And the whole point of the like the struggle, part of like to understand, like there is many different language and many different way of being as a culture in Sudan, of course, but the most idea it was hello.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So because there's also, I think I'm hearing myself back as because there's many mic. If you can close the mic, there's the Ember Festival also as if you can make it mute the sound. Yeah, thanks a lot. So and during this time it was like part of the main idea is like how the differences of like the different culture and different language it was used to separate between what is called Sudanese. And the whole idea of like from 2000, the end of December 2018, and when the use of Sudan, and that when I mean the use, I mean like the children actually, because the movement started with like a strike of children in the school for basic need. It was like for bread, for like non-prepared room for study, and it happened like a lot of children being killed in December in different states in Sudan, in Damazin, in Al-Gadarif. After that, follow in Atbara, and after that. It was very obvious it's going to be the same story. You go outside in the street, and that the state will use all the violence to kill everybody, and this was like part of the main struggle. So that like how you maintain to make a movement, and like to be outside, and to resist against this government when the amount of violence this government uses is very huge, because like to go outside in the street, 50% you're gonna die, and the fear, was huge, because like everybody have like experience with like what in a revolt, when you go to demo or when you strike in a different way, what's gonna happen, or when you write in the like what's gonna happen. So that here, like the existence of like people to access to all the social media, it was very important. I would say with all the problem like we can have about like Facebook or Twitter, and the right we have in it, and the use of the data, information, and everything, but it still was valid as a point to start from it. So most of those movement, it was like in 2018 in December, it was online movement. and through this idea of like the digitalizing world, so it start something is called تجمع المهنيين, later on, and because all the question was about like, okay, so what we're gonna do, because all we don't trust in all this party, the whole like idea of all this existing party, even if you are the opposition against the state, people doesn't have a trust in them anymore during the 30 years old, like before they say, these people, the same people, they will not be something new. And for the youth of the country, it was very important to form a new way of dealing, because they didn't really like it, what the way of the struggle, because it was like old generation, they think very differently. They don't have really a lot of connection with what's called internet or social media, and like that they are not accessing the platform. It was like that's digitally was access. People, they discuss in it, like groups in Facebook, room for tweeting, different kind of this channel. So the movement in Sudan, it was having two way to appear, so it was like a digital movement in the internet, and also in the same time a neighborhood based movement. So you need to be part of your neighborhood, wherever it was, and to start organize yourself from this place. So here, and for that, it's very a contradiction to the reality itself, is like Sudan as an undeveloped, let's say, country from the third world, let's say, and how the use of the digitalized in the whole of the revolt, and how it helped a lot to get rid of the state outside, and the state with all of those troops of army, all of this. So and I would say I was one of the things I'm very, very, very like touched by it. It was like the idea of like to be introduced in Sudan for the idea of like the work of the graphic design. And I didn't fond really like because I supposed to was it's supposed to Sadiq, he do this job by himself and to share with us. So I just found you a bit of like the poster, and how those poster was a huge change, that how when we start having more idea of simplifying the concept of the army, the concept of different things in through poster, how this was making a lot of support to visualize the idea of the movement and who the enemy and who we are, so it started like you have start having a lot of like what you call like force of movement. It built itself in a different way, and those was like a beginning of like to be introduced again to that, like the work of artists in Sudan and the connection of the artists in the revolution. I don't know if you have like something you want to introduce, say more, Rami, in this concerning this from your own experience as someone being like working in uniting the work of artists in Sudan and the work of revolutionary artists, and how it worked for you there, and what the problem you are facing in Sudan.
Can I speak in Arabic?
Yeah. If it's okay for everybody, I will translate what Rami he say, because it will be comfortable for him to speak in Arabic, but more to communicate.
تعال يعني. طيب في البداية مرحبا بكم. المشاكل اللي بتواجهنا هنا في السودان كفنانين كانت يعني قبل الحراك إنه ما كان عندنا حرية بتاعت نمارس فنوننا بصورة بسيطة، يعني كنا أبسط الحاجات إنه نطلع نشتغل في الشوارع، الشغل بتاع الكتابة والجرافيتي اللي في الشوارع وكده، فدي كانت مشكلة كبيرة شديد. ترانسليت يا رجاء عشان أقدر أواصل.
I think you can say what the point, all of it. After that, I can translate. Like,
okay.
yeah.
طيب فبعد ذاك تحركنا في انه يعني كانت الحراكات صغيره، جزء من الشباب بسيطين، بيكون جروب فيه نفرين او ثلاثه انفار. التصوير كان برضه عندنا في مشكله كبيره شديد، ما كنا بنقدر نصور يعني حتى في المواكب وكذا. دي واحده من الحاجات اللي كنا بنشتغل عليها شديد، انه كيف نعلم الناس تصور. كنا بنصور ذاته في نص الموكب وتهرب، يعني ما بتقدر تتم الموكب بسبب انه تلفونك ممكن يكون فيه داتا، ولو اتقبضت طبعا ده ريسك كبير شديد. بالاضافه للمشكله بتاعت اشكالنا ذاته، يعني بنكون مميزين فبنكون ظاهرين شديد، يعني نقدر فوكس كلنا شديد في كل الحاجات. I guess enough يا رياء.
yeah. انت ممكن تعمل silent هناك. Okay. So Rami was saying like the problem like most of like the visual artist was facing in during the time of the revolt, it is like the safety itself for the graffiti artist, for the camera person, for the one they know how, like the performer of the slogan in the street, you know, they're the focus of the police to kill, shoot to kill, like, and this is the point of like those is the target we of in the name. If you have 100 people, it's important to kill this one. His recording or his shooting or his trying to draw something in the wall, or is trying to support us by making a slogan, making song, and all this stuff. And after that, was like a lot of pressure of like, okay, how are we gonna say our voice without being harmed also? And I would say this is also what move us again to the point of like how we start making like the personal work it does, you know, like as you say in the screen, I'm sharing a big a poster. And this poster is called like the March of the Resign Down, and it's like have like the date, you know, it's like Friday, Saturday, 24th of January 2019, and this is a march of it will start at 1 from this place exactly. Whatever you do there, you can find a way to join the march in a different way, but you can describe your safety. And here you see like there's an image of an like police and his cover face, and this is a picture, and someone made it, like the police himself made it by his other friend, and after that being published in the internet. And he's burning the flag of the national party, you know, and the symbol of the national party. And after that, how those the communication between the one they work with, like with graphic design, and that the one the element they will find it in the internet, that video being shown somehow, how they start through those kind of image to kill the fear, you know, because this movement in Sudan, it took time to build up, because from 2018 to 2019 at April, it was almost 6 months of trying to build a movement. So like through all this time, of course, at the beginning, the people that started like having voice to go in the street was a few hundreds, you know. Sometimes you can end up in a demo was like maybe 25 people, but the idea of it is like you're gonna do a picture, you're gonna do a small video, and this video gonna be put in the social media. And through the social media, a lot of other people will see that, and they will have the courage next time to do that, you know, from their own home, from them, like a banker, you know, in his work, and he starts showing a slogan of paper. He doesn't show his face, but he write a paper of like fall, that is all. And this is kind of work. So and through the work of like the artists, like the force of like understanding, like, okay, why it is important to make a union. So there start a lot of artists like for being specialized in different way. You know, it's like there's the union of like the photographer, there's the union of like the painter, and this is what I share it now. It is picture you send now just from Rami to me through the WhatsApp. It is an exhibition, and it made in Khartoum, and the exhibition it made by the union of the painter, and the exhibition it's different work. It's work of like them work during the revolution, as you see here in that, like in the screen. Can everybody, if everybody seeing that, it is like what we are seeing here. Their poster, and this poster was made in 2019. And there are different posters for different day to for like calling for march, for strike in certain place, and how be more like going like using like the element of the daily life in Sudan, you know, like the transport, like you see here. If you can, I can make it really more clear. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, like that. If you see here, it's like here like the people in the transport in Sudan, and that the people of like in the mine goal, what happened there, that the farmer, you know. So different element of the different like reality of the society, and this is really used to not have this before, you know, like as a work of doing thinking this way. It was like all the time it was this kind of like being a basic way of like a poster made by the one of the parties calling for like march, and in located place in the center, in certain place in a square, and this technique, it was what the difference of it is, this like there is no centralized place to resist, and there is no way to resist. There is no manual how you have to do, you have to join the revolution. And that may push a lot of people to be creative of like how I can make this state and this state unstable anymore, like this power exists and unstable. And I would say that's really a lot like that. Without all this work of a lot of like artists was there, understanding them, the need of them to move and to be creative and to create different action, like creative by making theater in the street, in front of a school. And there is one when no call for a demo was, you know, it's like will be maybe half an hour, 1 hour, until like the state will later on figure out, maybe through the media. Normally they don't figure out because the channel itself doesn't move very fast, but also it was a good idea to do a theater of like of the how the power being hold in the system, and for like a student to do this kind of the performance. So in the way it is help in the situation now, with what we call it in Sudan. It is like it's like more of a movement, you know. It's like, yeah, the government fall down, but still nobody have a feeling of like we achieve something, because the movement itself still exists. رامي داير تقول حاجة؟
ريزيوم يا رجال، ريزيوم.
Okay, so and in this situation, I was like more of like after that how to include like many of the understanding of like what the need of the art in the society. It was became more visible in Sudan during the 6 months of revolt. Before that, like when the government resigned in 11 of April. And yeah, I could more like share thing. It's like video of like, but I would keep this to other chapter, because more of like how through the slogan, creating a slogan and writing a poem on all this thing. It was the main goal of the technique of the Sudanese movement to build up. So if anybody have a question there, because I also really am someone, I don't know how to communicate in this kind of new platform when we have to speak online, and after someone speak, and after that someone, like the way I do talk, I talk like over a talk of someone, or someone cut me in the way, so I can go on describing what I want to say more. So I will maybe I'll let, if someone have any question, understanding like it help, like how we can move on, will be good.
I have a suggestion, because I would be really interested also in the kind of actions that we see on the posters, and how people then reacted on it, what your impact was on the movement and on the people's personal lives.
Okay, as you see here, where I put the mouse, like in the poster, it is like a poster of like why this chosen this picture of like, there is one woman, she's taking other women in her shoulder, and this in this point of view, it was more of a message to this Sudanese community, or this that like of the power for what exists. And exactly, it was the Islamic State, it's like and like the whole of the point of the Islamic State was like to enable women, and to say women is a shameful thing to be in the public, but in the same time that the amount of women was in the beginning, exactly when there was not a lot of people and was like a lot of fear, there was a lot of movement in the street in Sudan. And they was like the people, they start the beginning of the movement, and why that behind sharing of this kind of contradictory image, it's like and of course this image is start a lot of talk, because, and that is what the idea of those kind of image and those kind of poster, why it was choose this poster, and women grabbing other women in her shoulder. It was to open a conversation in the society. And during those months of the revolt itself, there was a lot of platform to talk about this. So there's a lot of people, was saying, no, this is horrible, how this is not a woman, this is how women they have to act, and they are all like whatever, all those bad words, they are slut, they don't come from a good house, look at them, they are all this like anarchists, whatever, communists, all that the state was saying. They are trying to destroy our society. So this speech was led by the conservative, and I mean the government. But the nice thing when you use this kind of picture, was like opening the more discussion in the society. Actually, what we are going outside, what we are trying to against it in this state, and it was forming this kind of situation, and also I will share also here. This image of like this elderly, he was in the street. This is a video. This is a picture taken from the video, and after that being made at a poster, and it is this an old person. His property, like the action in Sudan, it was also supposed to be, you have to be fast, you have to run, you have to watch, that like the tear gas doesn't fall in your head, so you can die through it, or you can cut your hand when you touch your hand, and or you can you can lose all the oxygen suddenly, so you can die. So, and the image of using this elderly by taken in the shoulder of that youth and running around and celebrating him in the street. It is more of like was a saying of like, actually, because the state was saying in the news and in the media, it was all this 100 young people, communists, whatever, and they are all they are not rooted. The society is not part of them. Of course, here the use of the picture of the Aldaris was more of like to say, actually, we are all the community, we are the Sudanese community, we are the society. And also I will share more of like of an image. It's like if you is there. And that is the same. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, just the upload. This is a bit getting slow from here, but yeah, it's the same. But if you see, like, it's like here, it's more of like the different element of
really nice. And you also mentioned what I found really interesting is the kind of the two different things, like the digital movement in the internet and the neighborhood movement in the neighborhood, that kind of were both important to go on. How did they kind of worked together?
Yes. I mean, I will answer this question, but I also upload this picture if you see it here. And also, at certain point, you understand the state, also understand like the power of like, okay, those movements, they are working with different an idea, and those ideas was based in the picture, you know, and that like how through picture and how through an image you can change a lot of things. You can kill the fear, or you can enforce the fear, or this kind of thing. So the state itself, you know, for the first time of it, is start hiring, you know, photographer and stuff like this to impose the idea of the power, you know. So they are like, yeah, they used to have all these troops of army in the street, but also in the same time they make sure they share all this image in the media, you know. So like to fear the people in the state and to make them scared, you know. So as like those deeply picture of like non-end troops of army, it was made by the government. Actually, it was not made by the people in the revolution. And that here, that like to go back to answer to you about like what you say, Matthias, of how the relation between the movement and and after that then and the network in the digitalized world, or in the digital world, how they're functioning. Today, until today, there is a start like this. Okay, every neighborhood, every district, you know, every district, maybe like Nikon is huge district in Germany, in Berlin, I mean. So Nikon will be divided by neighborhood, and every neighborhood have his own assembly. It's called the resistance assembly. And the resistance assembly is built by the amount of like 2,000 or like 3,000 the population of the neighborhood. And through this, they will have one channel in the Facebook. page in the Facebook. It's called لجان المقاومة. I can share also something in the internet. You can see how it works. So this لجان المقاومة, they write the speech, So every 2000, like every neighborhood, every city, every group, they can form a place in the digital world room. They can form a place so you can contact them there directly. So they publish what they do there. I do a demo with my friend. So we are people from, let's say, south of Khartoum. So we have the resistant assembly, of our neighborhood. So if you want to communicate, to do a demo together, an action together, and we are the north of Khartoum, you know how you found us, because we exist in the digital world. And through it, you know what we do, because you can go there and follow what we are doing today. Today we barricade the street. Today we burn some tire in the night. Today we jam over the mosque in the night and we use the microphone and we spread some message. Today we walk in the night in the neighborhood and we threw in the night a lot of papers, like with all the structure of mapping, how to move, the security, who's gonna call if you get arrested, which hospital you can go if you get injured, because you cannot go any hospital because they will arrest you if you go there. All this safety network. So, and this is how was like people, they start organizing in a movement, So every neighborhood have a structure. Of course, the main idea and why it is important. It was in this moment. It is that what called the Sudanese Professional Union. So it have a page in the Facebook, and this page in the Facebook, through it was I can share this. I can show you more of like the idea of this page. So you get all of the structure you want to get over like what's going to happen tomorrow, what the plan of tomorrow, So whatever you are in it, okay, tomorrow will be demo for this reason. And okay, so how the map from where to where we can move. And another day, they will not be, it's not a day for demo, it will be a day for like cleaning the neighborhood from the whole of the garbage, start planting trees, start meeting your neighbor, talking to them about the problem, what kind of issue we have. So solving the issue of like the difference so that the government work for many years was to make it, and making like a neighborhood visit, go to eat with your friend, and through this was like more like creative, and you start really getting to know your neighborhood, to know your neighbor, to take all this speech of differently and still build it, so because Sudan is very built up over a racist method of a country, who more lighter, who's better, who's having Arabization, who's much smarter, who get more in contact with the power structure, and how you can get information, like how also the war zone, like Darfur, Nuba Mountain, like you can get to know for the first time from 2018, like for a lot of people, they start knowing actually what happened in those other states. We know, yes, there is war, but we don't know who's fighting against who. For people like in Khartoum and exactly North Sudanese, or people living in the capital, born in the capital. So through this kind of action, it became possibly, and through this like over Sudan now, you can say there is more than 500 page of resistant assembly, and any one of them present a neighborhood, present a map in Sudan. I hope I answer a bit your question, Matthias.
Thank you very much. This was very informative.
Yeah. So and after that, I'm also uploading here. It's like this was like the Sudanese Professional Union logo, and after that became the idea of every neighborhood starts thinking of like they have to find someone to create a logo for them, and every neighborhood is start using the logo to issue they have other problem, how they feel, how they think, how they create themselves. So that the amount of like 2 years, that the amount of like the producing of like logos in Sudan, we think like it went historically to point nobody could understand it, how it happened this. And then the idea of this professional association is like more of like, it is an image with no picture to human behind it. You don't know the leader. There is no leader in this Sudanese professional association. That's the idea. The idea every neighborhood is part of the Sudanese professional association. Every academician, like Marwan and yes, in yesterday's session was like we have Marwan and we have Muhammad. They are all they are teacher part of the university, and they was like the hidden part of a lot of union of teacher, and they create this at the beginning, like they create the Sudanese professional union, and they start having the meeting of this idea of like what the goal of the Sudanese professional association to make. And how the Sudanese professional association start to connect, to be visible, work in the internet or like in the digital world, to connect a lot of people. It's not possible to meet them in different neighborhood or in different state or a different village in Sudan, and how this became the voice for a lot of people through this channel in the Facebook. Yes. I think a bit like we are running over the time, but I can say if you have more time, I would like also to share a video, but this video more of like the idea of it was like how through like they in certain point they realize, okay, this digital world have a huge like fact in sorry, I think I lose the connection before. Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you again.
Yeah. Okay. Can I be like I can manage? Yeah. Great. I can see that. So in certain point, of course, in like when the government fall down in 2000. 2019 in 11th of April, the 11th of April 2019. After that, 2 months later, people was staying in the square. So the movement now that like let's say that's what they thought. They allowed the movement to exist again in a platform. So it is to control it, because before to control like for the state who these people, what the strategy they work with was very difficult. So we have 2 months, and we all this assembly neighborhood managed a certain point in 6th of April, and this is what the symbolic day of yesterday, why a lot of people was demonstrating in Khartoum, in different places, in different states, in different villages in Sudan, because it's the day we could access like whole of this movement. So like millions of Sudanese, they went to the street in 6th of April 2019, and they occupied they stay at the sitting place in front of the Minister of Army. And in this time, so the whole idea of the state, the secret police, and it was like trying to understand the leader of every neighborhood, how they exist, how they work in the sitting place. So they tried to build a lot of spy in the sitting space between those movements. You know, like Rami, we are very informed about this because we are very in this time we're together during this sitting place. And after that they make the massacre in 3rd of June. But when they did they do the massacre in Khartoum, after like they actually cut the internet after they do the massacre. So the state was really aware about what they are doing. So like the army was aware about that, like, okay, to impose fear, you need these people to see the killing. So they want us to see the killing was. So they start the massacre at 5 in the morning, and they know we are having a connection of internet, we have all this, we can record it, we can spread it very fast, we can have live screaming, you know. So yes, we watched, everybody watched like the massacre live, you know, how they enter, how they burn the square, how they kill people. You know, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of video to prove how the state was violence, you know, how the army was violence in this moment. And a few hours later, after like they finish with like with like empty the square, they cut the internet. So this was a strategy plan, because they understand that the idea, okay, these people, they watch everything in the platform. The platform is like it's empowered them or disempowered them. So the idea is about the fear now. And the reaction of like that, when people, they saw this, was not getting afraid more than of getting angry, actually. And that make like other reaction they didn't expect it, you know. So they need to cut the internet, because Sudan became a country with a barricade everywhere. There is a barricade over everywhere. Like most of like bunker, most of like pilot plane, most of the, they didn't work, just they didn't go, you know, they couldn't. There was a barricade inside, like there is an image of a barricade. People, they bring in a lot of things in the troops between the plane itself in Sudan. And there was like an image of barricade over everywhere. So they didn't want those kind of image to be spread. So they cut the internet, because that means like they're showing a strong resistance movement now, you know. So, and they didn't want that people to be seeing the connection of, if I'm staying in Khartoum state, I can be in the Wild Night state, or I can be in Darfur, and I know the killing in people in this setting have a reaction now to all Sudanese. They're supposed to, in the idea of the government, like that what happened in 30 years, they're isolated, because the pain is not the same. Because if you kill me here, I don't kill you, and I feel like, yeah, they kill me alone because I'm this tribe, you know, but they don't kill the other of this reason. So and the reaction was after that, like in the digital world, you could see the massacre itself. It makes Sudanese to be united against the state again, you know, after 2 months. And when they think everybody was tired already, it created a movement, a new movement. Like they cut the internet, so there was not connection to get through people. At the telephone connection, it also was very bad to call from someone to someone. But picture wise, you cannot move the picture, the image. So until it came what is called 30th of June. And also the technique of the day in Sudan, like people, they are not going to demonstrate every day in Sudan, but they demonstrate to symbolic thing. Yeah, it's possible now to create a demo, to go into the street, but like the idea of it, like to look for like a day in the history, it makes something. 30th of June, it is the day the Islamic State took the power in like 32 years ago. And it was important for in this day to revolt again and to start again the whole movement. So that the amount of people, there's a video here we share to show it was this amount of people was like, and this is a huge question, how come the idea of struggle in 30th of June 2019 was spread when there was not internet, if we say is a movement built of internet. So how everybody know at 1 o'clock you have to go and there will be a strike against this state again. And here we can rely in what that movement, the online movement, when there's internet, because after that, people in Sudan, they stay 2 months without internet almost. And they cut the connection of internet for 2 months from the 30th of June until the end of July, and at the end of August. And but here, like whole of the work was made like during the 6 months by this all young in the assembly artists. It's like to connect. It was useful, because when there was internet, was like all of that, everybody knew what the job already, because everybody was trained over 6 months how to move information and being safe. So that the need of the work of like all people, they do like graffiti work and writing everywhere in your car, in front of a house of someone. You write a paper, you push this paper in someone's yard, and you put a slogan somewhere. You say 30th of June will be the day, so don't miss it. At 1 o'clock, we will all go from everywhere in Sudan, wherever you exist. So you have to resist, and you have to go in the street, and have to say to the army, you have to leave the power and give the power for the civilian. So this is an movement start without an internet, but built by the existence of like how through the internet people, they organize themselves, and how they communicate when they didn't have the internet. So I'm just showing like the picture of this 30th of June, one of the video I found it in 30th of June, but it's not, it's showing just partly of Khartoum, but this is what's in every street in Khartoum, in every village, every other state in Sudan. It was the same image of a lot of troops of people was in the street demonstrating, and there was not an internet in this moment. But people, they still exist through the artwork of graffiti and stuff to know about this and move message. Yeah, it's very interesting also, like how also that because this is other talk. I was like, I will be happy if you, but Sadiq was here, he was more talk about it in